it's one of the few things that a regular consumer, a regular person could look at every day. Like you could look at
And
any news
panic
show
about
and
it.
say this, what's happening with the Dow and S&P.
Yeah.
You don't have that with any other kind of economic metric, right? That one's out there every single day for everybody to see. All the rest of the stuff, who goes to Freddie Mac and look up these charts, right? Nobody's doing that, right? So, and you're not seeing this on news every day,
Right.
right? Hey, what's the rate today? What's the rate today? You're not seeing that.
No, but they'll tell you the number for the Dow and the
But they'll
S&P.
tell you the Dow, right? So the thing is I don't listen to Wall Street anymore because they're just out for themselves. They don't care if it's good for the economy, bad for the economy. All they care about is themselves. That's okay. That's their job. They want to be that way, be that way.
Another little jewel from last week's show, trying to pick out these nuggets, is we talked about how much the mortgage rates moved over the past, year and a half, while the Fed rate held the exact same number, right? Where we talk about so what the Fed does doesn't necessarily mean the mortgages are going to do the same thing. We're going to long-term move along with what the Fed's doing. But there has been from, what did we say? There was almost 1.5 points of movement in mortgage rates while the Fed held steady at without increasing or decreasing over that time period.
So I think that they're going to do at least a 0.25 point drop. I'm changing my mind on the half. Looking at this chart, I don't think they have to. I think they could do a quarter, and let's just see what happens. I know that's throwing spaghetti against the wall, but that's my opinion.
But looking at the chart, they just leave it alone, right? I mean, truly.
It's possible. It's possible they could leave it alone. It's just going to correct itself. If they do drop the 0.25 point, we were talking about baked in, and that's the point I want to make, is the regular people have to understand this. Some of that interest rate drop that the Fed is going to do is already baked into the rate drops that we already had. Okay, so they're already baking that in. So when we do get the announcement that there's going to be a drop, it is going to be a direct correlation that it's going to definitely affect the mortgage rate at all. It actually could go up if the rates go down. We've actually seen that once or twice since 2018, where they raised the rates and the mortgage, or they dropped the
rates. Like next day or that week, the mortgage rates do the opposite.
Right, went up, because that isn't the only thing they care about. They don't care. Actually, they care more about the T-bill.
You could see the Fed dropping the rate as a indicator of some level of instability in the market. So they're saying, hey, we need to do some sort of easing here because our economy needs it. And therefore, mortgages, because they're traditionally a guaranteed return, mortgages could actually go up because that investment becomes more solid, right? Like the mortgage-backed security paying a higher yield, because guess what? We see some Feds telling us something's going wrong in the economy. They're scared. They're dropping the rate. Now mortgages become more attractive, and you can see those mortgage rates go up, right? Because basically in the mortgage-backed security world, demand
can raise the rates.
Increase
it's going to raise the rates.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
So that's a really good point, Mike. And we experienced that, I think, in not COVID, but in other markets we've experienced it, where the rates started going up because of the activity of the people applying for mortgages.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you have more people, you only have a finite amount of money, so you're going to charge more money.
There just wasn't enough money to fund all these loans that were being applied for.
So that's what bothers me about the buyers. What I'm concerned about right now, today, in today's market, is the buyers of today not understanding all this and not playing it right, because a lot of buyers I talk to don't have a clear understanding how all this works.
A clue? Clear?
No, I don't. A clear understanding.
I mean, CL and then U and
clear
understanding.
I'm not saying they're clueless.
I know. Okay.
But they don't know. They don't understand everything.
Yeah.
And there's not it's my job to understand this, your job to understand as much as we can. Regular people, they got stuff to do, right?
Yeah.
They got lives to live.